Where were you when one country nearly ended a 20-year gold medal streak held by the United States? With 3 minutes left, a U.S. team led by Hall of Famers, MVPs, NBA champions, and world champions was up by just 3 points against a French team led by a 20-year-old.
And just trying to figure out what he is because we've never seen him before.
If the greatest shooter in human history doesn't get hot, France may have ruined a generation of legacies. Something bigger is happening now. Even bigger than a 7'5" alien who just threatened America's reputation. In fact, Wemby is just the tip of the iceberg. I'm Jerry, and this is a Clutch original on the French Revolution that's going to change basketball forever. France was winning Olympic medals in basketball before you heard of names like Victor Wembanyama or Rudy Gobert and Tony Parker. Basketball was first introduced to France in 1891. The first game was played in Paris in 1893. Then France won silver in the 1948 London Olympic Games. Then everything changed in 1975. That year, a new program changed French basketball. This French process produced several NBA players, from Hall of Famer Tony Parker to solid role players like Evan Fournier, Boris Diaw, and Ronny Turiaf. So, what is it? It's called INSEP, also known as the National Institute of Sport, Expertise, and Performance. INSEP is a deep nationwide search. 36 boys and 36 girls are picked for training camps, then 20 are chosen for the program. And they're training French basketball specifically for the NBA. After 20 years of INSEP, France finally broke through. In 1997, Tariq Abdul-Wahad became the first French basketball player to not only get drafted in the NBA, but also play 7 NBA seasons. He was the 11th overall pick in the 1997 NBA draft. After that, French basketball players started getting Division I scholarships to come play in America. And by the next decade, Americans knew names like Tony Parker, Joakim Noah, Nicolas Batum, Ronny Turiaf, Evan Fournier, and more. But all of this bubbling from France from over the last 40 years has reached its boiling point in the 2020s. In 2023, the San Antonio Spurs drafted Victor Wembanyama #1 overall. Then just a week later, for the first time ever, France beat the United States at the FIBA U19 World Cup. And in 2024, the French Revolution took another leap in the NBA. In the 2024 draft, another French player was selected #1 overall. And for the first time ever, 3 French players were selected in the top 10. 4 French players were taken in the top 25. And 5 total players from France were taken in the draft in 2024. And those top 3 picks have all played together since they were 13. The league is realizing that France not only has generational talent, but is also building NBA talent over generations. The question is, how? How did France reinvent basketball development? How did they become a hotbed of talent that's outdrafting American institutions like college basketball? French coach Frédéric Fatou believes playing against other pros early on is required to reach full development and become NBA prospects. The ideal path to the NBA is playing in France. We know how to develop them into tall, versatile players that the NBA craves. French basketball is also more team-driven. They commit to fundamentals, playing in more practices than games. French coaches bring the best out of their players defensively, literally. The runner-up and the winner of the Defensive Player of the Year in 2024 hail from France. And it doesn't stop there. The French basketball revolution is now exploding. Aside from the United States, France has had the next most lottery prospects. Another projected lottery pick for 2025 in Nolan Traore. And there's over 22 different basketball players participating in NCAA college ball in the 2024-25 season. It wasn't always this way though. In 1990, 0 NBA minutes were played by French basketball players. By the early 2000s, just 4% of NBA players were from France. And Victor Wembanyama's agent Bouna Ndiaye represented 2 of them, Tony Parker and Tariq Abdul-Wahad. Now in the 2020s, the French Revolution is everywhere. Ndiaye now represents over 34 NBA players from France and Africa. Today, over 225,000 NBA minutes have been logged by French products. And in France, the number of players who have registered for organized basketball has increased by over 160,000. But the craziest part is, this is still only half of the iceberg. According to FIBA, basketball is now the most popular team sport in the country, just months before France had their first NBA draft pick in 1997. The WNBA had 2 draft picks from France, Isabelle Fugelkowski and Yannick Souve, and the WNBA continues to get an increase in basketball prospects from France. The secret is out. The NBA has already seen 48 different French players, and the number is definitely expected to double in the decade. One day, those final 3 minutes could end differently, and if that day comes, basketball will enter a new reality.